So the question, what would you do when, if Shiba Inu hits 1 cent, right? We all have been talking about SHIB in the context of achieving 1 penny. That's the price point. Now, there's a lot of things that has to happen. There's got to be a tremendous amount that has to be burned. We're talking about adding millions of users, and we're talking about time, years down the road. Okay, with all that said, acknowledge that up front. Okay, then set that over here and have kind of an interesting, fun scenario. I want you to think about this. Have you thought about what you would achieve and what would you do with the money from the investment you've made in SHIB if it did reach 1 cent? That's what the topic of this video is. And one of my favorite authors, journalists at Watcher.Gurus, come up with an article talking about 3 different people he interviewed, and the answers were really interesting because it kind of gives insight into people's emotional behavior attached to obviously the achievement. So I'm asking you, drop in the comments below, pause the video if you'd like. What is your plan? What are you planning to do if slash when? We got to give a little bit of a buffer there, right? If slash when. I believe it's going to happen, but it's going to take the things I said up front to happen, but it's going to take some time. If when Shiba Inu reaches 1 penny, what would you do? All right, because this comes back to what? It comes back to your why. Why are you investing in SHIB? Why are you investing in crypto in general and all those kind of things? Okay, so right now we need to take a look at what Shiba Inu's price point is. We are at 4 zeros, 1107, and this is the holy grail right here. There would be a 1 right there. That's 1 penny. Okay, that's a lot that has to happen to get us from there. Again, I've already said what has to happen: burns, time, millions and millions and more holders, all those kind of things. But so Vinod, who is the journalist I mentioned, reached out and said, "Hey, I just did this article. I think you ought to do a video." And I'm like, "You're absolutely right." So here we are. So Vinod basically interviewed 3 different investors to reveal what they would do when SHIB reaches 1 penny. All right. So the first one is, I'll start a business when Shiba Inu reaches 1 penny. But that sounds interesting. But then you kind of go into it. And this particular individual is a burger joint employee working on minimum wage from Kansas. He revealed that he would quit his job at the moment and when SHIB reaches a penny. And the 31-year-old confirmed that he would start a real estate business as properties in Topeka. So he's in Kansas, obviously. Are booming. Land, apartments, and rents are skyrocketing to people as people return to the city, et cetera. So he has plans to take the profits, the seed profits, if you will, and start a real estate business, buying properties and things of that nature. Very interesting insight. All right. Again, what would you do? What are your thoughts? What's your objective? What's your goals? Drop in the comments below. Would love to hear from you. Okay. The second one says, I'll cry when SHIB reaches 1 penny. That's actually a pretty good one. I'm like, I think we all would, right? A 37-year-old investor from San Francisco confirms that he owns 238 million. He's a software developer, and he said he would cry regardless of where he's at. If he's in Walmart taking a stroll, working, or just with friends, I'm going to cry like a baby. I love that. All right. So the third one, and I've seen this one before. I think I've heard this talk about, I'd buy 20 acres of land and build my dream house. Now that's probably more in line with with what a lot of people are going to say, right? Comments below. I want to hear from you. A lot of people are probably going to say, I would buy my dream house or whatever it is. The one thing I would tell you, and I like going back to the first person, he was taking the money to invest it in something that would create even more, income, right? So that'd be my only 2 cents I would say here is that if you can figure out if SHIB reaches a penny, how can you take that money you've made there and make it into more money, right? Don't just go spend it on a car or whatever. I'm not saying that's a bad thing. I'm saying take a percentage of that money and maybe think about how would you start maybe a side business or start a business or something that would allow you to continue to generate revenue as you go along life, right? So that's just something for you, food for thought. Me, if SHIB reached a penny, I would just probably reinvest it. I realize that's kind of boring. I would reinvest it. I'd probably buy something for my wife and my son. That my family is my why. But I would just reinvest it into probably even more SHIB or into something else, right? More crypto or whatever it may be. Buy some land, something like that. Okay. With all that said, have a good one. What would you do? Drop in the comments below if Shiba Inu reached 1 penny. Drop in the comments. Thanks. Have a good one.